Good evening. How is everybody? Come on in, grab a chair. You know, when my kids were little, I used to say a poem about pull up a chair, sit on the floor, admission is free if you pay at the door. So come on in, come on in, come on in.
In here, Marissa's there.
We're so glad. Oh my goodness. Hey. Yeah, come on in here. What is that other thing about you and your mama? My dad always says, come on in this house. That's what Dad says. And then the other day, how's you and your mama? Or something. How do they say it? It's so funny. Okay, we're gathering. Yay!
It'll come to me.
It'll come. I know. We're laughing about it. Oh, Maurice is here and Betty is here. Hey, Betty. I hope you're feeling better. How's Pat tonight? Hey, Catherine. How are you doing? Are you all better? I hope so. I'm so glad y'all are here. I probably need to grab a Kleenex, and then we will get started. Can y'all believe it's already May? Oh my word. Time is flying and it feels like we're standing still and time is just flowing quickly. So I have a little project I'm working on and I'm going to get y'all's input on tonight. And I'm going to show you how I'm doing it. I am going to be using the orange peel with picture window reverse applique tool. I was teaching on Saturday, this past Saturday. And I showed a couple of my picture window quilts with blocks, and they're so fast. Oh my gosh, they're so fast, and they're so easy. And the folks in the class, hey, Janice, we're glad you're here. Yeah, I'm really glad. That's awesome. And every time I talk to Shirley, she wonders if we're still in touch, and I'm like, yes. Anyway, I was teaching the class, and they were kind of intimidated with how difficult it looks, so I invited them to join us tonight for the live so that they could see how we do this. And I'm going to be showing you a new thing. So first of all, I will start off by saying I have prayed over all of y'all today. I've asked the Lord to bless you. I've asked the Lord to prosper you and surround you with his peace and well-being. So know that you have been prayed for. Hey, Trish, we're so glad you're here. And Kathy's here too. So Kathy was one of those I was just talking about in the class on Saturday. And tonight I'm going to do a demo on how quick and simple this orange peel reverse applique tool is. This is what it looks like. Here's the window, right? So here's the inner window. So my patent is for any tool that has a window within a window, this larger one. So this falls right into my patent. So we're going to be working with this today, and I'm so excited. So I have some things to tell you. First of all, announcements. On Tuesday, May 11th, 2011, so that's a week from tomorrow, at 6:30 Eastern time, but of course that's going to be 5:30 Central time. There is a friend of mine, a new friend of mine, Kathleen, that is doing a dessert with designers, and it's a virtual tour, and she's going to be. Did you get it? Okay, she's going to be interviewing designers that you may or may not, like new designers, or, you know, it's designers like me who are small, you know, that are just like breaking into the market, who don't have 120,000 followers, that sort of thing. And so she's interviewing like 7, and it starts at 6:30 Eastern, 5:30 Central. The website is dessertwithdesigners.com. And I'm going to put the link on my Annie McHug's Facebook page later in case that is something you are interested in. It sounds like fun to me. I'm very excited to do it. But one of the things that she challenged me to do For all the participants, everyone who joins in, they will be receiving a pattern from each of the designers that she has lined up. So I forget how many there were, 6 or 8, maybe 7 designers, and it's like in 15-minute increments, and so over a couple of hours. So it sounds like a fun thing. She's in North Carolina, Winston-Salem area, and it's just really it was such a blessing. She just reached out to me. So that was a God thing, in my opinion, of course. So that's next Tuesday. Well, what she asked me for, and what she's asking every single one of her designers to do, is to write a pattern for a 6-inch block. Well, my stuff doesn't really do 6-inch blocks. I mean, it can, but I haven't designed any in the 6-inch increments, right? I tend to go with like charm pack or layer cake 5 or 10 inch. So anyway, I said, sure, I'd do that. I mean, that's no big deal. But you know, I love a challenge, and I love to come up with, oh, look. Okay, I'm going to take a little break. Tawny is here and Renee is here. Hey, everybody. So happy you're here. So anyway, I designed a 6-inch block for this thing next week, and y'all are going to get a sneak peek, and that's one of the things, that's what I'm going to do a demo on for you tonight. So that's one thing to tell you. Another thing to tell you is, I'm not looking at a calendar, but the 14th of May is coming up, I don't know, in 11 days. You know, like the end of next week, probably. And out on the newsstands, I don't even know where you can buy it, but I'm sure we can buy it in town. This magazine will be coming out. It is Quilt Sampler, and it is a Better Homes and Gardens publication. And if you don't get this regularly, you might consider it. It's a fabulous magazine. It always covers 10 different shops, and they do it regionally, right? So they, like, probably one in the southeast, like Florida, Georgia, South Carolina area. There'll be a shop over there. I don't remember all the regions, but you know what I mean, all over the country. Well, last summer I traveled up to Illinois and worked with Lisa, and she is the owner of Quilting in the Valley, and now she has, at the time she had 2 shops, and we were up there, I don't even know when we were there. When were we there? Like in August. We were there last August. Now she has 5. She's built that fast in COVID. She's an amazing woman and super, super great, super fun. Quilting in the Valley is the name of her shop. Of course, she ships everywhere. The shop we were working in was in LaSalle, Illinois. I left there in August. She called later and said that, and she couldn't tell me the name of anything. She only could say, I need you to design a quilt and send me, and write a pattern and send it to me so I can have it in there because something really big is coming up. Well, I pretty much deduced what was going on. But here's what's going on. So here's the cover of the magazine, and the spread. Oh man, I did not print the cover. Like when you open the magazine, it says Quilting in the Valley, and there's a picture of Lisa. I forgot to print that page. I haven't seen the magazine. She got a preview copy, and so she sent me pictures. But on page 111, you'll see this picture. And you'll see right here, you see that? Those are my that's the picture window Dresden tool. So somebody, I don't know who, made a quilt using my tool, which is fabulous, of course. So that's my tool highlighted there. And then this is the quilt that I designed for her. It's called Quilted Quotes. And each one of these squares, like at the top and the sides, have little quotes that are quilting brings so much joy and that sort of thing. It's a beautiful Benartex line of fabrics, and that also is the Dresden picture window tool. And I use 3/4 picture window tools around the corners. Now there's something behind the quilt right here that makes it look like it's not laying straight. It's on the wall. But anyway, shout out to Lisa for letting me make a quilt and put in there. That pattern is also on my website if you ever decide you want to make that pattern. I made it. I sent her the sample and the patterns, and now the magazine's coming out. So I'm super excited about that. To have some of my things in a magazine, that just kind of makes me happy. Okay, let me think what else. Okay, so now I'm going to show you what I'm doing. So back to the project I'm working on for, what is this? Desserts with Designers. It's a virtual tour for people to see what designers are up to. So I'm going to be using, she asked for a 6-inch block. I find that to be absolutely fine, but interesting. So here's what I did. I'm finishing up a quilt that I'm calling the Promises of God. And I'm actually stitching the binding down tonight. I started yesterday. What do you think? I worked probably 6 hours on it yesterday. It's like 85 inches long and 75 inches wide. And I had to put a pocket rod on the back. So that's another 75 inches. So it's hugely long. And I'm not good at binding because I do about 5 or 6 stitches per inch. And you're supposed to do a little bit more than that. But I'm lucky if I do 5 or 6. Because it's just not my thing. But anyway, from that quilt, today I pulled all the scraps. Because y'all know me, I don't like to waste scraps. Do y'all like to... Hey, Kathy, we're glad you're here. I was just talking about Central Illinois. Oh, I'm sorry there are bad storms. We've had some here too. So I cut some 6-inch blocks just out of the scraps because I'm going to use up my scraps. I just am. And if she needs a 6-inch block, I'll just use, what I had. So I cut a bunch of these. And I decided that I'm going to do orange peel. Look at this. Can you see it? This is that ombre, and it's the confetti, and it's by Moda. And so Doug, I think Doug put his hand there, and it's fine with me, whatever. But I forget what the name of the fabric is, and I don't want to walk over there and get it. But y'all recognize it, right? It's an ombre, and it's confetti. It's got the little gold dots. So I cut a bunch of them, and I have a bunch of them still to cut because I'm telling you, when you do 6-inch blocks, you have to do a bunch. Let me show y'all how quick and easy this is. I took a 6-inch block, and I want to find the center. So the easiest way for me to find the center, some people draw a line and all that. You can do that. That's not the way I'm going to do it. The way I do it is, I fold corner to corner diagonally. See that? And I press it. And I fold corner to corner diagonally. And I press it. Still warm. And now I have the center, right? Can you see it? Is it too dark? Can you see it? Okay.
Tilt everything that way.
This way?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's the corner. There are the center. Now I'm going to draw, but I want it to be on white so you can see it. This fold that goes this way, do you see on the tool where it has a black line right here? Can you see that black line? Yeah. Okay. I put it corner to corner. And then I have these lines. Do you see I have registration marks that go horizontally and vertically? So if I put this corner to corner, just so, and I put these marks on this fold, I have it perfectly centered. Easy peasy. And Doug, if you'll hand me, That's what I need. Thank you, dear. I'm using a friction pen. Now, you can use a pencil. You can use chalk. You can use any old thing you want. I prefer... Now, my pen's running dry. It's completely dry. But this is what it comes out after you draw it. See? It's completely drawn on there. So the neck, what I do, because at 6 inches, I'm going to need a bunch of them, and I'm wanting it to be real scrappy, right? So I just go ahead and draw. I iron all of them that I'm ready to do, and then I draw. Maybe this pen will work. Again, straight on that fold, corner to corner, corner to corner, draw. That one worked, honey. Okay. And then I have a stack of them. Y'all, this is what I do when we're like after hours and I'm sitting in there in the living room and we're, I mean, I could play games on my computer. I really could. Or I could do this, and I'd really rather get this done, right? Do you see what I'm doing? I'm cutting just a little in from the edge. And I'm going to call that 1/4 of an inch. It's really not accurate. I mean, this is less than 1/4 of an inch. That's a little bit more, but it's close enough. All that's going to be folded to the back. Watch what happens. Just like in clothing, you have to snip to the corners. This is the same exact way, too, the Dresden works. So now, anytime you go around a curve, you're going to snip. I just snip, you know, all the way around the curve. Then I flip it. I find it easier to move from the right to the left. Okay, super, super easy. Famous Elmer's washable purple disappearing school glue. I hit it just like I would if it was a stick of lipstick. I tend to work on the left side. I start in the corner and I fold that back really well. And then I just fold these back. And do you see what's happening? It folds right there on the line. Watch this. It's just, that's where the fold, it just naturally goes there if you snip to the line. And so you can do like the whole section. Then I flip it around. Isn't that easy? It's so easy. I've already snipped it, so I just fold. And then I just run my finger up underneath it. And you know the glue's not going to hold it forever. The glue is just going to hold it until I get to the sewing machine. Now what I do is I put my iron on there. And the thing is, the iron melts the glue. Well, when you melt the glue, look, see, I even spread it. That's okay, it'll cool. It melts all around, right? But look at that little window. It's a perfect little window. It just worked perfectly. So you do that over and over again. Here's some more that I've already done, right? So they all have these little windows. Well, I was looking in my scraps, and I'm just finishing a quilt called Promises, that same quilt, Promises of God, and I used a circle template. Just heads up, the one coming out after this is going to be a circle, just so you know, circle within a circle. So I was using that one to make this other quilt, and I did the same thing. I cut circles out to put fabric in. Well, now I have all these circles. What in the world am I going to do with this? And I came in here and went through my scraps. Look at this. That's awesome. I thought that's what I'm going to use in my windows. So here's the way that works. This is glued down. I'm going to do it on the white. This is glued down, you know, where it's folded under. I'm adding just another little bit of glue. And then I'm just going to lay this scrap, making sure that my, you know, ends are covered. Now this will not all stay on there. I'll trim it later, and I'll tell you about that in a second. And then I press that down to melt the glue. When you melt the glue, once it cools, it won't gum up your sewing machine needle. Okay, now see all this excess back here? I really don't have to have it. So, because I'm brave, I've done this how many times? 7,000?
Billions. Billions.
Doug says I've done it billions of times. You see what I'm doing? I'm just folding that over and trimming that off. Y'all, I find it easier to use a big scrap and trim it off than I do to cut one precisely, because it's just faster for me. Now my next step is going to be going to the sewing machine, and I'm going to stitch as close to that edge as I can all the way around. But for now, because this is ironed and glued, I can work with it until I get to the sewing machine. So that's how I build my quilt, right? So here's, look at this. So here's a navy blue one and a green one. Again, this is the fun part, right? Because once you have everything turned under, then you get to see what it's going to look like. And for us right now, I'll just iron this on, and y'all will know that I can stitch it down later and take that excess and then trim around here. I don't have to do that right now. But look. Except the showing out the corner. What do y'all think? I need to hear your... Oh, Sharon thinks it looks good. Sharon. My friend Sharon. Everybody say hi to Sharon. She had knee surgery not too long ago, and she is recovering, but we want her to get well, so we want her to come see us in Texas. So everybody say hi to Sharon. So, like I said, I'm just using my scraps. You see what I'm doing, and ironing them down. So this will be for the 6-inch. Let's see. Is this too close to this? But what I love about the ombre, look y'all, see how light this is compared to this? Even though it's on the same width of fabric cut. That's what I love about the ombres. Because you can have real dark, or you can have, let me see if I have, here's an example. Look here. Here's a dark green. No, I don't have all of it. Sorry, never mind. It's just that you have the different, the different darks to lights and that sort of thing. But that's how I'm going to build my whole quilt. It's that simple. So while I'm sitting at night, I'll do all my drawing. Just however many blocks I get done. I'll draw all of them. Just draw. Doesn't take a second to do it. Then I'll go back through and I'll cut, and then snip, put it aside. Cut, snip, I'll do that, and then I'll do all the gluing, hit it with an iron, put it in a pile, and then I'll come back and put the centers. Here's one. So now y'all tell me, which color do you think needs to go in this one? Mary Lou, hi. Okay, I'm going to audition colors for you. Whoops. There's a gold. Look, here's an example. Here's the same piece of fabric, but this is a darker gold. See that? That's what I love, because you can really change it up. Do y'all like that? Or do you like this? See, I like contrast, but that's me. Here's a blue. And all of these are just scraps. But what I did originally was I bought a fat quarter bundle from a shop here in the area. Look at this gorgeous raspberry. This is one of my favorite colors in the world right here. I'm just telling y'all personal stuff. And look, this color combo absolutely sends me. I just think that's gorgeous together. I just can't tell you how much I love that. And then throw in a little bit of chartreuse behind it. Oh yeah, I could get real happy with scraps. Look, what do y'all think? Isn't that pretty? Okay, so this is why I love this project, because I've got all the different colors and I can fill it in with scraps, and that makes my heart happy. That way I don't have a whole big pile of just pieces. And what do you do with pieces if you don't put them into the next quilt? They just live there. And then I'm telling y'all, if you put them in a bag, like a Ziploc bag, or you put them in a, you know how when you buy a set of sheets, those little zipper things that they come in, if you put them in all that, if you leave them if you leave them in there for 2 years and don't touch them, you come back, they've doubled. I'm not kidding. It happened to me. I saw it happen. So anyway, you like the gold? Betty likes the gold. Let's see. Where's the gold? Here's the gold. Do you like the light gold or the dark gold? Y'all are laughing. They're laughing at me, Doug. Imagine that. Do you like the light gold or the dark gold? Okay, so Betty gets to call this one. Betty, you just have to tell me, do you like the light gold or the dark gold better? Okay, there's one.
Light gold, she says.
Light gold, okay. This one will be light gold. Okay, that's what we're going to do. So, see, this is going to be, and I just started literally, y'all. I have, here's another personal thing. In the state of Texas, there is a law that says anyone who is the age of 65 or older can audit a public college or university class for free. And my favorite thing in the world to do is go to school and learn. Oh, I just love it. And there's so much I want to learn. So, and I just turned 65 recently, so now I can go back to school, right? And I can go free. And if you audit a class, that means that you don't get a grade. That means that you can't fail. So all that whole pressure is totally gone. Here's my block. I'm going to put it here. No, let's put it here. So I was all excited about going to school. And then along came an opportunity recently, and I have signed up for some classes, but not through the college. So I had to pay for them. But that's okay. And I'm really excited about that. So as a result, I have a couple of announcements to make. First of all, across the board, I have gotten feedback. Maybe not from you, but if you'd like to comment about it, you certainly can. The comment I get is 6 o'clock is too hard. It's too close to the time I've gotten home. I haven't had time to fix dinner. It just doesn't work for me. I have to watch your YouTube video the next day, which is absolutely great. I mean, there's no obligation to watch it at all, but I'm thrilled that when you do. But having said that, and I've heard it like multiple times, and I'm taking this class, and it's a Monday afternoon class. And so Doug and I have talked about it, and we have decided that starting next week, so whatever that is, the 10th, I believe, we are going to do our Facebook Live, Make It a Marvelous Monday. We're still going to do them, but we're going to go an hour. We're going to start an hour later. So we will start at 7 o'clock on Monday nights rather than at 6 o'clock on Monday nights. That'll give me a chance to take this class and not feel like I'm like messing up or ignoring y'all, and maybe it'll help y'all too. I have already had one person today that said they couldn't come tonight, And I said, starting next week. So I'm going to put that out there probably 2 or 3 times this week to remind everybody. Next week, we will start our new time at 7 o'clock. If that doesn't, see, Kathy says dinner's in the oven now. What are y'all having? So, and one of the things that Doug and I have to do to be ready by 6 is, because like at 5:15 or 5:30, we have to get everything set up and cameras and lights and, I don't know, stuff. So, we're having to eat like at 4 or something, 4:30. So, this will help everybody, I think. So, okay, yeah, so Betty says later time would be good too. Okay, 7 o'clock, starting next week, we will do Make It a Marvelous Monday. And I will have more of this finished next week because that thing I'm doing is on Tuesday. I don't know if I'm going to have it finished or not, but I'll have more of it done. I just started on this literally at 4 o'clock today. This is how much I've gotten done since 4 o'clock today. That's not bad to make that many blocks, plus get ready. Okay, do y'all have any questions, anything you want to talk about? Okay, be watching for this. Let me know when you see it, because if it's in the shops, then I can go get one also. So let me know if you see this, post it out on Annie McHug's Facebook page so I will know, or send me a line or something. Just let me know. I'm looking around, see if there's anything else. Doug, have I forgotten anything?
Roasted green beans with red peppers and chicken breasts with cheese topping. Just so you'll know.
Oh my word, Kathy, that sounds fabulous. Well done, Yancey. I'm so glad to see your name on that, friend. Aw, I miss you, dude. Y'all, we went to school together. We're so old, we probably shouldn't even be remembering each other. It was so long ago. Okay, well, I'm glad you're here, Weldon. I'll brag about Doug for a second. So I'm teaching this Saturday, once a month, I'm teaching beginning Quilting 101. And we had a class Saturday, had a fun time, or at least I did. Kathy, did you have fun? So we had fun Saturday, I think. And but one of the things that's very exciting is years ago I called Doug and I said, I was at an estate sale and I said, Doug, there's a really old sewing machine here. It's black. Y'all, I was talking about Singer. And I said, I want to buy it. If I buy it and bring it home, can you make it work? Well, that's like saying, Doc, my elbow hurts. Can you tell me what's wrong? Of course, I'll have to look at it. Well, I went ahead and bought it, and I put it in the car. I was in Dallas, and I put it in the car, and I brought it home. So, lo and behold, he made it work. Well, that really got him interested in how they work and, how timing, it's a mechanic thing, right? So he figured all that stuff out. So and then for a long time, for multiple years, he did this little sort of repair business where if you had one of the older machines, bring it over and he'd work on it. Well, with everything else going on in our world, he just doesn't have time to do that anymore. Except when we have these classes, no matter what day it is, somebody has a machine issue. Every single time. And Doug is with me because he helps me get in and get set up. And he goes over and he does the mechanic thing. So what a tremendous asset to have in a class. Because I don't know. So it even happened Saturday. So, hi Mindy. How are you?
She doesn't know about 7 o'clock yet.
So, Saturday, and so Doug's been going with me once a month to these classes. And being very valuable, but I will tell y'all, he's a very patient man to sit in the corner and read a book while we're sewing all day long. And so a couple months ago, he said, I think that yeah, exactly, Betty. Thank you, Doug. This is why my girlfriend's nicknamed Doug Boaz, because he takes care of all of us. So, a couple months ago, I guess month before last, he said, I think I might try it. It's a beginning quilting class, and I was like, great. He knows exactly how, not only does he know how a machine works, he can do this. So he's been taking the classes with us, which thrills me to death. So, I'm so old I forgot why I was even telling that story. Do you remember? Does anybody remember why I'm telling that story? I am so
You just
sorry.
said you were going to brag on me.
Oh, I'm going to brag on him. So he is now sewing. Okay, so here's a wild thing going on. We have a reunion coming up this summer. It's going to be my dad's 93rd birthday. And, Dad, are you on? So, there are family units that have never gotten quilts from me. I'm talking like nieces and nephews and stuff like that. Who've never gotten a quilt from me. I'm busy. I just hadn't gotten there. So I asked Doug if he would help me, and we are making, get this, 12 quilts. All the same design. And he is helping me stitch on, it's a center medallion, and then stitching on borders. So between the two of us, we're making 12 quilts, and we have to have them ready in July. So I'll be telling y'all more of that saga as we move through this. But I'm excited that Doug is learning. Janice says, thank you, Doug, bless you, and her husband for putting up and supporting us. Isn't that the truth? I mean, does it get any better? If they can make this thing work, it's awesome. Okay, every single week, what?
Let Mindy know about that.
Okay, Mindy. I just announced that starting next week, Making a Marvelous Monday will not start until 7 o'clock. We are changing the time. We're moving it back an hour. So, for a couple of reasons, but maybe everybody that'll be easier for people. So, 7 o'clock on Monday nights instead of 6 o'clock. 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time, Marvelous Monday. Okay, so now we are to the part of the program where I read a little short devotional that I have written. There's just a lot going on about writing right now in my world. If I could only, spend more time writing. It's interesting how the Lord works. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to read this little devotional. And if you have any prayer requests, I see that Mindy has one. Her son hyperextended his knee yesterday. And now she was looking for crutches. He's on a brace. So I'll keep him in my prayers. But if you have prayer requests, feel free to just drop it in the comments so that I'll know to continue praying for you. Okay, so I'm going to read my devotional, and I started writing my daily devotionals, which you're invited to go to that group if you're interested. It is called We Are Called to Pray. It's on Facebook, and I do a devotional Monday through Friday, and we're also doing a daily scripture reading, and I get it, it's May, but we're reading the Bible chronologically together in this year. So we're in Psalms right now, which is that's pretty awesome. But a year ago I started writing and had never done anything like this before. So I decided it would be kind of fun to go back and see what I wrote a year ago. So that's what I'm going to read you now. And drop your prayer requests in the comments if you have any. Okay, and this one is called Weirdly Wonderful. It's a true story, too. My mom sent me back to the newborn nursery twice before she accepted the fact that I was her baby. Well, Mom was blonde, always a blonde, and had brown eyes, and she expected a baby with blonde hair and light eyes. I came out with dark hair, a lot of it, dark hair, and black eyes, and I was not what she expected at all. The first 2 times the nurses delivered me to her from the nursery, she argued with them. That cannot be my baby. But the 3rd time, she gave in and she took me. And then as she tells the story, Dad arrived to the room to visit, and she was holding me in her arms, and she asked Dad, "So what do you think?" And he responded with, "Well, she's not very pretty, but maybe she'll be smart." Well, I've heard my mom tell that story. Makes me laugh. I've heard my mom tell that story all my life. She was so shocked, it just took her a little while to settle into the truth. Her expectation and her reality were so different that she needed to wrap her mind around it. Once she did, she was happy, and I was weirdly wonderful to her. Weirdly wonderful is what happened to me as I was reading Genesis 19, the story of Lot in Sodom. The angels told him, "Flee or run for your lives. Don't look back and don't stop anywhere in the plain. Flee to the mountains or you will be swept away." So Lot, his wife, and daughters took off running. His wife disobeyed and looked back, and she turned into a pillar of salt. Okay, stop just a second. I've read that how many times in my life? And I still have the same question. What does a pillar of salt look like? Does it look like a pile of sand? And if so, how big is that? So I looked it up online. I searched for, quote, pillar of salt near the Dead Sea. And it displayed breathtaking images. Lot's wife did not turn into a pile of salt like you would have if you had poured Morton's salt onto the table. She turned into a salt statue. And they are a sight to behold. They are the size of people, and some of them are even taller. I was so surprised. It took me a few minutes to adjust my mental image because that is not what I expected when I looked it up. Look it up yourself. In fact, side note, I put a couple of pictures out on the Annie McHug's Facebook page. Be sure and look. They're amazing. Well, the reminder from Jesus today is that life as you planned it does not always turn out as you thought it would. Our mental images of relationships or kids, cities we live in, and so much more can change on a dime. And yes, when it happens, we're stunned. And it takes a minute to adjust, or a day, or a week, sometimes months. And sometimes we just have to run for our lives. Sometimes we lose our jobs through layoffs and downsizing, and other times we just have to hunker down like we did last year in this pandemic panic. And then there's a time when our kids look like they surely belong to someone else, that they were mixed up in the hospital. And it takes us time to wrap our minds around the new and unexpected circumstances. And when we've had sufficient time to adjust, whatever it was can become weirdly wonderful also. And the comforting news is, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Then you will call on me and come and pray to me, and I will listen to you," he says. "You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart." Jeremiah 29:11. So I encourage you, friends, to seek him with all of your heart. It is so worth it. Okay, if there are any other prayers, just put them in the comments. Like I said, I've prayed over you. Have a blessed week. Next Monday, 7 p.m., we will do our next little episode, I guess, of Make It a Marvelous Monday. Y'all have a great week. Bye.